You are listening to Match Point Canada. Very happy to welcome our guest for the week. First-time guest, and from my estimations, I'm pretty sure the most popular tennis journalist on Twitter, all over every given piece of news in tennis. So happy to welcome José Morgado to the podcast. Jose, great to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your words, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. And as we speak, you're in Rio, obviously covering the Rio Open, and I know as we're speaking now, it's finals day there. But to me, obviously, the story of this tournament, maybe I can call it Fonseca Mania. And even if Joao Fonseca maybe didn't deliver, obviously, in this tournament specifically, he was fresh off that first career title in Argentina. And maybe you just have a sense of just being on the grounds, what it was like, the excitement and hype for a young teenage sensation like this. Can you just describe maybe the days leading up to the event and his first round match and what it was really like there in Brazil?
Yeah, it was crazy. Obviously, when I decided to come to Rio, I didn't have the idea that Jean actually would win the previous week. I believe that was probably the biggest surprise of the entire situation, because obviously the hype would be already pretty big for Joao Fonseca here in Rio because of what he did, especially at the Australian Open and during the next gen finals. I think those were the two moments where he became like more on the he was put more on the spotlight, especially the performance against Andrei Rublev at the Australian Open was incredible. And obviously there was a lot of his expectation because he's from Rio de Janeiro. He got a lot of friends here, a lot of people that know him since he was a little kid. But now he's like a more global superstar here in Brazil, which is, as you know, a big country, big sports country, a country that is used to win, especially in football, where they create their superstars. But when they have someone in other sports, uh, they also they also make them look like a big superstar, and that's what I felt. Obviously, João won the title on Sunday in Buenos Aires, so he arrived early Monday. He practiced on Monday once, so it was like all very quick. He arrived well just one day before his first round match here in Rio. So it was everything, I believe, too fast for him coming from Buenos Aires, and the experience on court wasn't that good because he really felt the moment. He felt the pressure. He admitted that he knew that he would be nervous, but he just couldn't control it. So yeah, in that aspect, it was like tough to see, but yeah, it's crazy. I think I really not sure if I ever watched anything like this in terms of a young player that's so popular. Obviously, we just had Alcaraz, who in Spain is obviously pretty big, but people here in Brazil are a bit different in the way they are passionate. So yeah, the reception he got in the first round for the match against Muller was so loud. I think only comparable to the the atmospheres we get at Grand Slam tournaments with own players. Obviously, at the French Open, the French players get incredible support. We see that as well at the US Open, obviously in stadiums that are much bigger than this one. But for a stadium with 6,000 people, I think it was as loud as it could be. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine being there, the electricity and atmosphere. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. He's 18 years old. I think we can forgive him for maybe feeling the moment and feeling the pressure, which is understandable. But maybe going bigger picture. I mean, you've worked in this business for some time. You've seen some superstar generational athletes. I mean, we've exited the big three era. Although Djokovic still going, we have Alcaraz, we have Sinner. Is Fonseca? I mean, is he passing the eye test with flying colors for you?
Yeah, for me, I think he's incredible. I think the way he hits the ball, the way he creates power, the way he hits winners from everywhere, the talent, the way he moves for his age. Yeah, it's crazy. I think obviously I followed him because Portugal and Brazil are pretty close. So I followed him since the junior days, at least since he won the U.S. Open Juniors back in 2023, and then I had the chance to watch him live for a week during the ATP Finals 2023 when he was there as a sparring partner for the top players, for Sinner, for Rublev, for Alcaraz. There is a well-known story where Sinner asks Fonseca about his future, and at the time he still didn't know if he would go to college or not because he had a pre-deal with Virginia. So he like at the moment he still hadn't decided about going pro or not, and Sinners told him, no, you have to go pro because with this level of ball striking you will be successful very quick. And that's what I felt the first time I watched him live at the practice section. I felt something special there, but obviously then you have to do it. Then you have to be a bit lucky sometimes as well with injuries. As obviously he got, as he's a very promising guy, he got a lot of wild cards, and you sometimes you have to take those chances as well. And he received many wild cards and he took chances. He got obviously back-to-back wins here in Rio in 2024, reaching the quarterfinals. So yeah, he got better and better, and I think that we are looking at a future Grand Slam champion. I believe a future multiple Grand Slam champion because he got the game. And yeah, I feel when I see him play at 18 years old, pretty much the same thing I felt when I watched Alcaraz for the first time on tour, and that's pretty and that tells you a lot about what I think about Fonseca, because yeah, it's kind of weird that in a period of like few years, 3-4 years, we have two special young talents like this, and the numbers tell the story, because obviously we know that Carlos Alcaraz was the youngest world number one ever and the youngest to finish a season as world number one ever. He was one of the youngest to win a Grand Slam in the last 30 years. And we already have Fonseca like being the youngest ever to win in Buenos Aires, and one of the youngest in the last 20 years to reach to win an ATP title on clay, and so on. So the numbers don't lie, and I really feel that if he stays on the right track in terms of physical development, and in terms of he has a very good head, very good coach, very good family, so he has all the conditions. So he just needs to keep going, and to obviously have some luck, because we know that a bad injury can change the prospects, but at the moment things are looking very good for him.
Yeah, definitely looking very good for him. And I mean, you sort of touched on it there, last question on Joao. One thing I sort of loved from what he said after winning in Argentina was, sure, I want to win Grand Slams, and sure, I would love to be world number one, but I just love playing tennis. And I sort of love that takeaway. It kind of gave a little piece of his personality. Do you think he has those sort of personable qualities to also translate to be, a future kind of international type of tennis star?
I think so. I think he got charisma, and he's from a region of the globe where I am at the moment that loves tennis and loves sports in general, but loves tennis. And we saw like how the Argentine fans like were genuinely happy for him, despite the fact that he beat four own players in Buenos Aires. But he's very likable. He's likable for the way he is outside the court, but I think that it helps that his game is so enjoyable. His game is also massive, and that's the same thing we had with Alcaraz when he showed up, and that's the most important thing actually, because
For sure.
when we remember the impact that Roger Federer had during his career and the way he's remembered, we remember Federer obviously as a gentleman, as a class act, but we will remember him as a player that was unique in every sense. Nobody played like him, and Fonseca got that special thing. His game style, his tennis is spectacular. Like he won Buenos Aires against the crowd and against a very good player, the Argentine number one Cerundolo, but he did it hitting incredible forehands and drop shots and passing shots and doing it in big moments. Obviously, having charisma and having a likable personality helps. But I think it's like the whole package, and I think he got that.
Thank you guys so much for watching us at Matchpoint Canada. If you like our work, follow along, hit the subscribe button below.